Okay, Chavra, due to tonight's Tehillim gathering, I know we just started and we just got back into it and now to take a break, but Klal Yisrael needs our tefillahs, so tonight there will be an incredible Tehillim gathering at 7:30. So because of that, we're going to be posting this year early so we don't miss a day of Kinyan. We still have our Chizik of Torah, and we can still join together here, Divrei Chizik from Revelia Brudny, and say Tehillim with all of Muncie, all of Klal Yisrael. So we're going to learn a little bit together. The show will be a little bit shorter, as I'm aware that, virtually is not as easy as in person. So let's pick it up from Daf Dalid. We did a nice Chazara. I'm told that many people did Chazar. Ashrecha and Emirtz Hashem. Let's keep on pushing ourselves to Chazering. Posted that we Chazar, which gives us all that Chizik. So we finished yesterday with the Machlekes Rav Yosi and the Rabbanan in a case of Teven ve'ein asid lefanaisai. I have straw and I don't plan on removing it, or afar stam. And in these two cases, what is the halacha? And we said, according to the Rabbanan, it would not be mevatel into the sukkah, therefore the sukkah would still be pasul, whereas according to Rav Yosi, it would, yes, work. Now we continue with another case. We're about 10 lines down. The first word in line is Teven. The same case. We have a sukkah that is taller than 20 amos. So now it's pasul. So what's the story? Ve'hutzin yardin b'toichav. And there are hutzin, there are some leaves, there are some branches. The schach is hanging down within 20 amos. So when you're sitting inside the sukkah, the inner airspace, when you look up from the bottom of these hutzin, which are these leaves, these schach, which are hanging down, the interior airspace is less than 20 amos. So what's the story? So says the Gemara, it depends upon the shade. If there's more shade than sun, then it's going to be ksheira. Because if there's more shade than sun, what does that show? Excuse me, let me say more particularly. Im silasam, if their shade, meaning if the schach from the bottom of those hutzin, of those schach branches are giving off more shade, that means that is what is affecting your living inside of the sukkah, and then it's going to be ksheira. Imlav psula. Again, the easy way, theoretically, to do the litmus test would be cut off the top branches. Are these bottom branches, which are making the interior area less than 20, are they giving off the shade? Or is the shade coming from the top? If the shade is coming from the top, then you have a sukkah taller than 20 amos. That's no good. If the shade is coming from these bottom schach, then those schach are within 20 amos. Who cares that the walls on the side are higher? Then it's going to be ksheira. So case number one for today is, depends on the schach, not just where the schach are, but the shade that the schach is giving. If the shade that it's giving is clearly coming from the lower branches, that means I'm sitting in a sukkah that is less than 20 amos and it will be ksheira. If not, it will be psula. Case number two, says the Gemara, we now transition to the next din in the Mishnah. The Mishnah taught the maximum height, 20 amos. The minimum height. What is the minimum height for a sukkah? 10 tvachim. So says the Gemara, what happens? And this is a direct segue from the previous cases you'll see in a moment. The yud is the first word on the line, about 12 lines down. If the sukkah is 10 tvachim tall, so theoretically, you're in a kosher sukkah, everything should be good. What's the problem? Potentially, v'hutzin yardin l'toich yud. The branches, though, are going down. So before we said the branches could kasher the sukkah, making the interior ear space less than 20. Now the problem is my interior ear space was 10 tfachim, but now those same hoots and those same schach branches above my head are coming downward within 10 tfachim. So are they now going to invalidate and passel my sukkah? Says the Gemara, Savar Abaya Lemimar. Abaya thought to hold the exact reverse of what we said before. Let's see it inside. If those branches which are hanging down, are not giving off more shade, their sun is more than their shade is not more. Therefore, what Abaye thought to say, Ksheira, it should be kosher. Because now I'm sitting, even though it's true there are some branches coming within my 10 tfachim, but those branches are not contributing to the overall shade of this interior area, and therefore Abaye thought it should be kosher. Amar le Rava, but says Rava 2 lines before the picture, Ha dira sruchahi. This is literally a smelly and uncomfortable, a not good dira. The area, the living area, the fact that these branches are coming within 10 tfachim makes the living potential very weak, very smelly, very not good, and therefore, says Rava, ve'ein adam dar bedira srucha. A person cannot and does not live in such a type dwelling. And therefore, says Rava, even though, Abaya, you are right maybe in the rules, based upon the rules that we just said, that it depends on the shade and the sun, and therefore if these schach are not giving off sufficient shade, theoretically the answer should have been, we do not view them as anything substantial. And therefore what should the din have been? It should have been kosher. Says Rava, no. Again, it's a 10 tefach sukkah. It's very small, it's very cramped. And now that I have some branches falling on top of my head, make it even more cramped, more srucha. And therefore says Rava, such a sukkah is not kosher. So again, case number 1 for today, 20 amais, too tall, branches hanging below. If the branches give off sufficient shade, kosher. Case number 2, 10 tfachim, very small sukkah. Even if the branches are not giving off sufficient shade, still it would not be kosher because this is a dira serucha. Case number 3 for the day, we're in the first line before the pictures. Haisa gavaya me'eser mama. And we go back to our topic of discussion. We have a sukkah, which is taller than 20 amos. So yesterday we spoke about how can we make it shorter. We're putting in pillows and blankets. Doesn't work. We're putting in straw. We're putting in dirt. Potentially does work. If I'm mevatel it explicitly, for sure works. If I'm not, I just don't plan on removing the straw. I put the dirt there. Stam. According to the Rabbanan, it's no good. According to Rav Yosi, it would be yes, good. Says the Gemara, another case. Ubana ba, and you built inside this sukkah. Itztaba, you built a platform. You built a base. You built a floor. You made the floor higher than the ground. Again, basically making that the interior area of your sukkah is within 20 amos. When you look up, you're standing on a platform. So when you look up, the schach are within 20 amos. Says the Gemara, it depends on where this platform is. Kinegen doifen ha'imsai, if it's opposite the middle wall, al pnei kula, on the entirety of it, v'yesh ba hechsher sukkah, and there's enough area for there to be a hechsher, the minimum requirement of a sukkah, then ksheira. So let's take a moment and let's zoom in on this picture and let's understand. Everyone click the picture inside the Gemara. We have over here a sukkah, and the point that we need to know is that this sukkah has 3 walls, and we're building this platform keneged the middle wall, and therefore, says the Gemara, one more time, we have 1 wall, we have 2 walls, we have 3 walls. We're building this platform. So says the Gemara, now when I stand on this platform, when I stand in this middle area, what do I have? I have my 3 walls to make the sukkah kosher, 1, 2, and 3. And what else do I have? If this area is large enough to be the minimum size of a sukkah, 7 by 7 tefachim that we have seen, then the sukkah is going to be kosher. Because for all effective purposes, the whole sukkah could be viewed as on this platform. Who cares that when I step down off this platform, there's another area of this sukkah that is a schach too tall. Where I am standing, I'm on a platform. I have a wall on one side, I have a wall on the other side, I have a wall behind me. The schach are now within 20 amos because I'm on the platform. And therefore, says the Gemara, part number 1, that such a scenario, the sukkah would be kosher. Continues the Gemara. Umin hatzad. Let's say you built this platform min hatzad. You built this platform on the side. You didn't build the platform directly opposite the middle wall, thereby creating 3 kosher walls. Rather, you built it min hatzad, on the side wall, which if you're looking at the picture in the Gemara, you clearly understand what's going on. Says the Gemara, im yesh misvas itztaba lekoisel dalid amois psula. If there is from the edge of the platform until the opposing wall, there are 4 amois, it is pasul. Pachais me arba ama, it will be kshira. So if this area, let's understand what's going on over here. If this area is less than 4 amos, then it is kosher. If not, it is pasul. Now, what's the reason that if it's within 4 amos, it's kosher? Let's look at the Gemara and then we'll explain it with the picture. And with this, we're really going to conclude so that everyone could do a good chazara. My kamashlam, what's the chiddush that this is teaching me? Ta'amrinon, that we say, doifen akuma, literally meaning a bent wall. We're going to stop over here. Let's just zoom in on this picture and explain what's going on before we call it a day and everyone could chazer. If you look at the picture, we see very clearly that this platform, which is built, really only has 2 walls. You have 1 wall and you have 2 walls, because the third side is wide open and the middle of it is wide open. So now you have a problem. If you're going to view that this area is its own sukkah, it only has 2 walls. So how could you make this into a kosher sukkah? The only way to do that is to utilize this far wall. If you're looking at the picture, the far wall, I'm highlighting it right now, this far wall we can utilize as the 4th wall. The problem is that there's this gap in between. So says the Gemara, if this gap is less than 4 amos, then it will be kosher, because then we could view that this gap is a bent wall to my sukkah. And if this wall via doifen akuma could be considered a bent wall to the sukkah, then it could be considered that it is attached to the schach, and then via doifen akuma I would have a kosher sukkah. We'll explain this concept again tomorrow as we go weiter. Everyone, please, let's keep up the chazara. Let's keep up everyone attending this virtual shir, and we'll daven together b'siyat d'shmaya tonight for all of Achenu Kol Beis Yisrael.